Hello everyone, this is Dr. Chinmay Bhatt, Assistant Professor of Chemistry. We will see another important special technique in organic chemistry in this session 26, that is sonochemistry. We have already seen PSRs, polymer supported reagents, microwave, and we have seen phase transfer catalyst. This is another type of special technique. That means it is different than the conventional one. We'll see what is sonochemistry. The sonochemistry, in a simple word, if I have to tell you, it is chemistry making use of sono. Sono is nothing but sound. So, chemistry which uses sound waves is called sonochemistry. Okay, in a simple way. So, in a microwave reaction, we have seen that you make chemistry or chemical reactions using microwave. Here, you make or you do chemical reactions using sound waves. I think all of you know the human hearing range, conventional, ultra power sound, and one which is used for chemistry ranges from 20 kilohertz to 2 million hertz. Okay, but it's not exact, it's just an approximate value. So now what is that principle? Now, okay, you are doing chemistry with sound means, how can you do it? What exactly happens there? Okay, so we'll see the principle of sonochemistry is based on acoustic cavitation. What is that acoustic cavitation? I think this cavitation, formation of bubble. Cavity means bubble. Okay, inside there will be, of course, formation of cavity and implosion. This bubble will implode at the end. So what exactly you do? You put an acoustic pressure. Okay, you know how sound waves travel in any medium. They are longitudinal waves. Okay, so compression, depression, compression, depression, compression, depression. They are not sinusoidal waves, they are longitudinal waves. So when you create a compression, I think this you must have experienced. When you throw a stone in a river, you see the compression and depression, compression and depression. How it happens? When you throw a stone, of course, it will put a pressure outward. So something is getting compressed. Immediately in the neighboring side, automatically something will be depressed. So compression and depression will create, and you will see the formation of longitudinal waves. Okay, now these waves, when they are formed, they create, if you form it in a reaction, I mean these waves, if you form it in a reaction medium, and by passing certain frequency, okay, of sound, then what happens? This will create bubbles. I think this you must have experienced. You have some beaker or something, you just tap it from the bottom. Okay, you just tap it from the bottom. You will see formation of bubbles. Similar thing you will do. You make a sound frequency of a particular, using a particular instrument, generate some bubbles. That bubbles will grow in size. Okay, compression, depression. When it is compressed, of course, it will decrease, and depression it will increase, decrease, increase. So every time it goes on increase, bubble, how long it can increase? At some stage it will reach that it will go beyond the optimum level and it will explode. So, and when the explosion takes place or the implosion takes place, there will be a release of temperature and pressure in the immediate neighborhood. Okay, now you can see the formation of bubble, and it has reached that critical size. It is now imploded. So it has produced high impulse with high pressure and temperature, adiabatic expansion, we can call it as. Highly thermal expansion take place, and immediately it creates hot spot with a temperature more than 10 raised to 4 Kelvin and pressure more than 1 gigapascal. But we don't experience it. Why? It immediately dissipates in the surrounding. We immediately, but what happens? We may not experience, but if there are particles surrounding it, I mean, if you are doing a chemical reaction, there will be particles surrounding it. Then what happens? Those particles will immediately absorb this energy. Temperature will go up. A molecule will start vibrating, rotating, and will have all kind of motions. And there will be collisions of the molecules. Reaction will take place. So, in simple way, this is the principle of acoustic cavitation and implosion, or we can call it as, this is the principle of this sonochemistry. Okay, hope you have understood. This picture will what it describes. Weak spot, I mean, which is formed, I mean that is nothing but cavity or bubble which is created. It will go on increase in size and it will reach the critical size and collapse. When the bubble collapse, okay, there will be release of energy. That energy is captured by the molecules and it will give you product. Okay, it can be anything, those whatever those chemical species, it may undergo dissociation, or it may undergo radical formation. I mean, there will be formation of radicals because of this absorption of this energy. Something will take place, or there will be just collision, but at the end it will result the products. Okay, but one thing you remember, it is not applicable for all the chemical reactions. There are some reactions you can do it with this one, acoustic cavitation or sonochemistry, using this sonochemistry. Not all the reactions are possible with this. Okay, so this is what it indicates. It's a sonicator probe with an instrument. You produce sound waves. Initially there will be small bubble, then when there is compression, depression, compression, again depression. So every time bubble will grow and then explodes or implodes. Then collapse of the bubble, it will create energy. It will give energy to the surrounding molecules. That energy is absorbed by the surrounding molecules and it will make the reaction. Now we will see the instrumentation part of it. How exactly an instrument looks and what are the principles, how it works, what are the types of instruments. Okay, if you see the instrumentation, there are two types of instrumentation. One is direct sonication method, another one is indirect sonication method. In the direct sonication method, you directly insert the probe into the reaction mixture and the probe is been in direct contact with the solution. So here the chemical reaction mixture is in direct contact with the frequency generator. Okay, I will explain it later. And in indirect sonication method, they are not in direct contact. Okay, probe is not in contact with your sample, so it will be kept. You can see it here. It will be kept on a certain thing. So then or in a beaker or in something like that, and indirectly it will do the sonication. So in the direct sonication method, you can see it's a probe, or the frequency one which is generated will be passed through the probe. So what happens? Sample is in direct contact with this. Okay, and this is useful for large scale reaction. So you can see some of the videos in YouTube, because that will make you to understand. It will make a hiss sound like this. Then it produces sound waves and it will produce bubbles here, and bubbles will implode and that energy will be dissipated, taken up by the molecules, and the reaction takes place. And this is the instrument, how it looks. This is called probes. These are the one which is inserted in the reaction mixture, and this one is the generator, frequency generator. This is how entire instrument looks. So you can watch this YouTube for better understanding. This will show how that exactly takes place. It will make a hiss sound and produces some waves here and bubbles inside. Okay, you can use different types of probes based on quantity of the reaction mixture and type of reaction you want to do. And if you see it, this is our frequency generator and this is probe, and this is a reactor or reaction mixture. So it will produce sound waves here and the reaction takes place. And in indirect sonication method, you'll be keeping it on certain thing. You can understand here. So they are not in direct contact. So you can see it here. There is a bath. This bath, it's now once power generator. It produces when it passes through transducer, it produces waves, and this wave is now produced by this bath with certain settings. So you can see it here, and these waves now will hit the surface of this glassware. If you have kept reaction mixture in a glassware, now then it transfers the the sound waves through this glassware and creates bubbles. So this is commonly used in the industry for degassing purpose, because every time cavity is formed and it implodes, so that degassing can take place. You want to remove some gas, something like that. Okay, so this is how it looks, that indirect one. So you can watch this.
So basically, this is the ultrasonicator bar. So what is the purpose of ultrasonication is that the heating is also there. Plus you have got a water vibrations also inside. This works in a frequency of 30 kilohertz. So 30 kilohertz is the frequency. Here is the heater option, you have to on the heater.
You
And
also
here
have
is the
heater option.
ultrasonication option, you have to on the ultrasonications.
That's it.
So directly you pour the water over here. This is a single, there is no joint in the basket. So it's a single bin basket. So directly you pour the basket over here. There is a tray for the ultrasonications. We pour the tray over here and then we keep all the utensils on the top. Then we on the heater over here, the heating will start. And then we on the ultrasonications, the sonications will start. So when the sonications will start, we can set the timer for around 20 minutes is the maximum time.
How long
that
you
we
want
can
to do
set.
that? Sonication.
And then you can get the reading over here.
Set the time. There are many sophisticated instruments also, but this is enough for carrying out a simple reaction. Now we will see the application of sonochemistry or ultrasound. They are used for various purposes like homogenization, I already told you, degassing, defoaming, and sonochemistry, emulsification, dissolution, dispersion. So sometimes something is not getting dissolved, you have to sonicate, and scrubbing and crystallization. So we will see some application in organic synthesis, because our topic is restricted to sonochemistry or special techniques in organic synthesis. So how sonochemistry is used for carrying out some organic reactions, we will see. So here is a simple reaction where you convert nitrite to acid. The conventional method, what you do hydrolysis at higher temperature like 100 degrees Celsius with NaOH or with HCl, both the way. So you can convert cyanide to COH. It takes 8 hours. Okay, but if you do it with sonication method, you can do it in 45 minutes. Okay, the time is very much reduced. We have to, this is, this indicates 30 kilohertz. That is how much frequency used, and 90 weight per ml. That much amount we have used. Okay, so sometimes it is just written with bars. So I can show it in the next example. Okay, you can see it here. This indicates sonication. In microwave, MW is written. So here this indicates this kind of symbol, that is nothing but sound waves. It indicates sonication. Now this reaction, synthesis of a coumarin, okay, from orthohydroxybenzaldehyde using piperidine. You can just do it in 5 to 30 minutes. Otherwise, conventional method, gives some impurities and it takes a bit longer time. So this is the synthesis of condensation of beta ketoester and amidine to yield substituted 4 pyrimidinols. Okay, these pyrimidine derivatives can be synthesized using this sonication method just in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, this is another example where we can use this one. So these are some of the references. You can go through it, and there are various online resources like NPTEL and website. There are so many YouTube videos you can watch, and Khan Academy app you can see. You will find lots of the sonication reactions, the reactions which are carried out using sonication method. From the examination point of view, please remember the types of sonication, instrumentation, and the principle. Because principle is very important. How exactly this sonication method works. So the formation of cavity, and cavity grows, then it implodes at the end. Because once it reaches the critical size, it cannot withstand again. So it will implode and it creates a shock wave. You can call it as microjet formation. This shock wave, again, in physics you can read it in detail. It's a big topic. Once it creates very high energy, that energy is taken up by the neighboring molecules, the reaction mixture, that will make use of this energy and make the reaction possible. Okay. And instrumentation, types of instrumentation, direct and indirect. So it's a simple diagrams, components, because these components are very important. So you can you know it. Power generator, then transducer, and this generator, transducer, and reactor. Okay, this is how it works. You have seen. So one or two reactions you can remember. So that's all. Thank you for watching.